Hello, good morning. It's Edna Keep here for Mindset Monday. How was everyone's weekend? I hope it was great. We had a really fantastic Mother's Day yesterday. It was so nice. The family took me to Willow on Wascana for the Sunday brunch. And of course, the food was just fabulous, and we had lots of fun. We were there a long time. It seemed like a long time, but it was nice. And then we did a little shopping and got some plants for our deck and stuff. Being as it's spring, and all the what do you call those things? Not garden houses, but you know what I mean. Greenhouses are coming up, popping up everywhere, and of course lots of beautiful stuff. So it's looking really, really nice. Anyway, so today we're going to talk about why confidence is so key, how to protect your confidence, and how to build your confidence, because I think it's really, really important. And a lot of people don't realize that, a lot of people think, oh, well, somebody's just more confident than me. And it's just a personality trait. But, it is not a personality trait. It comes from our environment and how we're brought up, and all that sort of stuff, who we surround ourselves with. And then also ultimately you have to take full responsibility yourself to protect and grow, and if you've got good confidence already, keep the confidence you have. And there's I have a few suggestions later on, but first of all, one of my mentors, his name was Dan Sullivan, and he says confidence is the electricity that makes everything work. Because it's like anything. If you're not confident in yourself to do anything, you're not going to ask for the sale. You're not going to go after what you want, because you're just going to keep thinking that you can't do it. So if you can build the confidence in yourself, and some of it is from knowledge, from learning and doing, practicing. And, when we talk about getting an apartment building under contract and stuff, we talk about the best thing to do is get it under contract, because that's what forces you into doing the work that gets you more confident. But some people won't even make the offer because they're not even confident enough to do that. So that's kind of what we're talking about today. Most people, like I said, think of confidence as a personality trait or an emotional response. But you know what? It isn't as passive or reactive as that. Real confidence is a capability. And when you know how to build confidence for yourself, you can have it in endless supply. Another quote that I really like by Dorothy Nettermeyer says, life is 10% what you experience and 90% of how you respond to it. When you have confidence, you can achieve more, just even with what you already have. There's no doubt about that. You can have the ability to transform fear into focused and relaxed thinking, which then gives you better communication and moves you into action a lot quicker. It turns dangers into opportunities, obstacles into innovations, weaknesses into advantages, and setbacks into breakthroughs. When you have confidence as a daily resource, you can learn anything. You can respond to anything, and you can adjust to it, and you can achieve anything. Many people assume that entrepreneurs must just be born confident, and that's how they get by. But you know what? A little bit of confidence is from your, I shouldn't say a little bit. A lot of your confidence comes from how you feel inside. If you feel good about yourself and you feel strong, you're more confident. But everybody's more confident in areas that they've spent more time. So if you've bought half a dozen buildings, well, you're just more confident with that whole procedure. If you've ran a 10-kilometer race, well, then you're just more confident that you can do it again. So you can build up to it, you can learn it, and then once you've done it, your confidence increases. And self-confidence comes, I think, a lot from even what we say when we talk to ourselves. For the one that looks in the mirror in the morning and says how terrible we look with our bags under our eyes and our flabby arms and all that kind of stuff, that tears down confidence. So it's up to you to build confidence by telling yourself how powerful you really are and believing it, and then moving forward on it. Even the most successful people out there experience crises at different times, and their confidence wanes. So it's not like it's always straightforward. It'll go up and it'll go down, and it'll go up and it'll go down. And one of the things that I noticed for myself is things that that decrease my confidence and how I feel on any given day is lack of sleep. If I don't sleep enough, I just don't feel as good. And we don't always put that together with confidence, but it is. Another is if I'm on a roll and having been having success, I keep doing it, I just feel more and more confident, because last success builds on each other. So that's another way to make yourself feel confident. I find if I have too many drinks, and for me it's not very many, it's like two I can usually be just fine, but if I have the third or fourth, which I do sometimes, lots of times I just don't feel good the next day. My head feels fuzzy and I don't feel confident. Exercising is another one that really builds my confidence. If I'm exercising regular, I just feel better. So most of you can relate to something that makes you feel better and stuff that doesn't make you feel good. Another one is eating good. If you're eating junk food all the time, there's no way you can actually really feel good. So change your diet. That'll help too. Eat lots of fruits and vegetables, lean proteins, and you just feel so much better, and then you have confidence. Here's another quote I really like, and it's by Ralph Waldo Emerson, and it says, "To be yourself in a world that's constantly trying to make you something else is the greatest accomplishment." And again, we talked a bit about that last time about, your strengths are different than other people's strengths. So something that comes really easily to you, whatever it happens to be, from shoeing a horse to riding a horse to cooking to business to different things, like people have different strengths, and what you really enjoy doing is probably a strength, and it probably comes easy to you. So just watch that. Dan Sullivan says confidence is the single most important human ability and always has been. People need to learn how to build their own confidence ability. So that's what I want to talk about today. There are many talented, educated, trained people in the world who never accomplish anything that anyone else remembers. Why is that? Well, many people don't know that their confidence is the single most important ability they need to develop. And so they never do. They just, they learn a bit and move ahead a bit and move, that sort of thing. But if you can just really believe in yourself and know that, not everything works, and that's okay too. And don't worry so much about failure and stuff like that. You can be better off. Another quote I like is, "Don't live down to expectations. Go out there and do something remarkable." And that's by Wendy Wasserstein. Now, one of the things what that means to me is, our family's always trying to protect us, and they don't want us to be disappointed, and they don't want us to be sad, and they don't want us to fail. And when you tell them about something new you're going to try, some of the common responses, well, why would you want to do that? Aren't you already doing really good at what you're doing? Why are you wanting to add in maybe another income stream or try something different? Well, for me, it's just about, I get bored easily. So I'm always wanting to try something new or do something new or make what I have already on the go better. And I think that's a great way to be. I could just stop where I am. I even have people say, well, why don't you just retire? You have enough money already. Yeah, well, you know what? How boring would that be? Especially for somebody like me who can't stand, a week-long holiday on a beach is about all I can handle. And I do it more for the people around me than I do it for me. So I take my family on holidays and we do stuff, but most of that stuff is for them. That's not where I get my energy. I love business. I love being earning money. I like finding new ways to make money. I like getting business opportunities and investment opportunities. And I like talking about that kind of stuff. I like sharing it. That's the stuff that really gets me going. So that's what you need to find out, is what really gets you going. Cooking and cleaning give me no satisfaction whatsoever. People can tell me all day long, oh, that was a great supper, and it's like in one ear, out the other, just don't even care. But the compliments that really account and mean something to me is if I help people make a change that they've struggled with or were challenged with, and I've showed them a way because I've learned a way myself, So people get different they need different things. So just realize that. I've always told my family, like, birthday presents and Mother's Day presents, not a big deal for me, like flowers, all that kind of stuff. You know what you could do for me that would make me really happy is just hey, let's go out for supper, let's go for breakfast, let's go out for lunch. That's the kind of stuff I like to do, just hanging out with them, catching up and talking, and then I really love my homemade cards. I love those more than a bought card, and because I love it when yesterday I got one from Danny, and she writes a bunch of cute little sayings on there. It's so cute. But there's some about success and stuff. And I go, oh, that is so cool. Where did you come up with that? Oh, Mom, I just Googled it. But you know what? It meant more to me than going to find a card that somebody else had written that she Googled something that meant something to her and knew would mean something to me. That's more important. So does anyone else have those same kind of experiences? And those are the kind of things too that help build your confidence, because when you have confident people around you, like my two youngest girls, their confidence is just great, and I love it. I love it when they don't just sit back and do whatever, even what a teacher says. Like, I like them to stick up for themselves. I don't want them to be followers. I want them to be leaders, and I know the teachers don't always agree with me, but you know what? I don't always agree with what anybody does. Like, everybody's different. We don't always agree. But if it's beneficial to my kid, I am going to stick up for them all day long. And I think if they do stuff that seems like they're getting picked on, and or do stuff that doesn't interest them. Like, I remember being in school and being bored to tears because the teachers were boring. Step it up a notch. Try to find a way to make it more engaging for them is my thought. Not just fit them in your little square hole, or your round peg in your square hole sort of thing. But of course, not everybody thinks like that. So whatever. Anyway, here's some ways to increase your confidence. So these are some things that you could even make note of and write it down. Silence your inner critic. We always, or many times, we focus on all the things that went wrong instead of focusing on all the things that went right. So if you can start doing that, that's going to be a big thing for you. Acknowledge that you have an inner fault finder. You cannot solve or fix a problem unless you acknowledge that you have one. One way to determine that, if your results are not what you want, something needs to change. So if you're not making the money that you want, if you're not getting the properties under contract that you want, if you're not getting the respect of your family or friends or neighbors or whatever it is, what can you change? It's not about them changing, but what can you change? Maybe it's just your response to them. This is just an example, but I thought it was kind of funny. The other day I was driving down by the Canadian Tire, and I've got a bigger truck, and this older fellow was coming out of the Canadian Tire parking lot, and I don't think he seen I was there right away. And I mean, I was quite far back, but I think it kind of scared him. And because when he looked up and see me there, and he pushed his foot on the gas, and when he did that, it was a small car, so it bumped the nose of his vehicle into the ground, and then he was kind of rushing to get out of my way, and I just kind of chuckled. But as he's driving by me, he's giving me the fist, or maybe even the finger, I don't know, and I could see his mouth going like this. I couldn't see what he was thinking. I'm thinking, he's mad at himself because he didn't notice me early enough, and then when he stomped on his gas, he bumped his bumper. I remember being that person, like, and I just think, well, that's just funny. You know what? That could ruin half your day, and doesn't do anything to me. And so that's something to watch for too. Those kind of things, like he was beating up on himself, really, because I couldn't even hear what he was saying. So he was really beating up on himself. And really, it was just minor. I wasn't even anywhere close to him. He just scared him a little bit, which happens to me sometimes when I'm driving, but just scared him a little bit to think, oh my gosh, if I hadn't sped up, I might have got run into. And instead of just reacting and saying, oh my gosh, I'm sorry, or maybe I should have paused, or maybe I should have waited, or didn't realize if I was going to stomp on the gas, my nose and my car would hit the ground. Because sometimes you don't know coming out of those driveways. Anyway, those are some of the things. So again, first thing's acknowledgement. Notice when you do those kind of things or have those kind of reactions. Focus on your strengths, what you're good at, and what you really like to do. Those are all confidence builders. I will never be a perfect parent. I will never be a, sweet as pie, push me around type person. And, that's just, that, and I'm okay with that. I actually like that part of my personality. Other people might think, oh, you could learn to be nicer. Well, no, I've actually had people tell me, thanks for the tough love lesson, because if I have an opinion on something, I'm not scared to say it. And like I said, I'm not always right. I don't care. You have an opinion, you can voice it. Say kind things to yourself. I used to beat myself up for that. Every wrong word I ever said, I would think that people would dwell on that for weeks because I did. When in actuality, most of the time it's in one ear and out the other, depending on how good the other person feels about themselves, right? Forgive past mistakes or challenges. Stop comparing yourself to others. You know what? I couldn't run a 10K if my life depended on it. So if I went out and decided that was going to be a challenge I set for myself, and I compared myself with somebody who's already ran a 10K twice or 10 times, how silly would that be? I would just be, if I did it, and I don't think I ever will, but I would just be thinking, holy cow, this is a lot different than you've ever attempted to do before. And really take action on those things that you want to improve, because again, that's how we get better. And we don't have to get better at everything. Like for instance, I could care less if I'm ever a good housekeeper. I have dog tracks in and out of my house, and some people chase their dogs around and wipe their feet every time they come in and out of the house. And I don't mind if they do it. I have good friends that do it. But you know what? I don't want to spend my hours in a day. My dog goes out probably 100 times a day. If I had to wipe her feet every time she walked back in the house, I'd drive myself crazy. I'd rather sweep the floor once a day or vacuum it or wash it even. And sometimes I don't even do that, depending how busy I am. I just tell people to wear their shoes when they come in my house. So being a great housekeeper, not something I'll ever work at, not something I'll ever care about. I have my housekeeper who comes once a week, and I love her to pieces, and that's where I like to spend my money, because I do like having a clean house. I just don't like doing it myself. And I see by the little smiley faces and stuff that I get up here that a lot of people can relate to that, right? It was a fight in my family for years and years. Edna didn't like doing dishes, and my older sister, would fight with me many, many times over that. And you know what? To this day, I very seldom do dishes. Even when people invite me over for supper, I very seldom do dishes. The difference is when they come to my house, I don't expect them to do dishes either. I just want to visit and have fun. You can do dishes tomorrow, or the kids can do dishes, or Warren can do dishes, somebody else can do dishes. So again, do what you like to do and get better at what you like to do. Don't worry about working on the stuff that you don't like to do. So here's some steps to create breakthrough results. I'm going to give these to you today. So first of all, commitment. You have to take a leap of faith and really commit to what you want. That's the only way. Commit before you've crossed every T. Commit before you've dotted every I. And yes, I know it can be scary, but if you commit, you will find a way. You know what? Things will come up where you'll find a way. And then courage. The courage is the next one. Many people admire courage in others, but don't like to experience it themselves. You know what? Going through a courageous period where you try something different and realize that, oh my gosh, I could do that. Yeah, it's maybe not something I want to do again. Different things that I've done over the years. I went whitewater rafting once, and it was kind of scary to go. But after I went twice, and after I went the first time, I went, I didn't really find it that much fun. People love that stuff and live for it. I didn't find it that much fun. I was glad I went. I enjoyed it, but I don't feel the need to go again. So commit to yourself without any proof that you're going to get there, even after, or that what you're going to do is going to pay off. Just commit, just because you can, and through that, you're going to realize some capabilities there that if you don't try stuff, you never know. So I want you to think back to one of your breakthroughs. Was it the combination of making a commitment and going through a period requiring a bit of courage? Was that what created both the capability and the new confidence? I bet it did. You know, think about something you did recently. And just for my girls' sake, this is something I was thinking of. I had my good friend Diane Thompson come out and give them a painting lesson. And they painted some owls. Well, I love them. It looks absolutely fabulous. And you know what? They enjoyed it so much. My one daughter said, hey, do you think we can have her come out once a week and teach us something like this? And I'm going to hang those owls up at my cottage because I think they're so beautiful. And are they perfect? No, they don't need to be perfect. Some of the other people that were here made more perfect ones, but I love them. They're really nice. The new level of confidence you experience after a breakthrough is what gives you the ability to commit to an even bigger breakthrough and an even greater sense of confidence. And then the process repeats itself. So those are the things I want you to think of. That's the way that it's your ability to increase your confidence. Keep trying new stuff, keep accomplishing new stuff, keep doing new stuff. Like I'm saying, doesn't mean you have to do it 150 times if you didn't enjoy it. Like I said, with the there's different things that I've tried over the years that is semi-enjoyable. It's okay. I don't want to make a lifestyle out of it, and yet there's other people that absolutely love it. For example, I don't think I'd ever want to skydive or bungee jump. I don't like that feeling of being that scared, but a lot of people love it. They live for that adrenaline rush. Not me. I don't need I don't need that kind of wild rush to make my life exciting. Okay, so if you're looking to find more confidence, another thing to start with is start with gratitude and your small victories. If you're somebody who's looking to exercise more or lose weight, give yourself credit for that great breakfast you just had, or that walk that you took, or those 10 burpees you jumped down and did, during the middle of the day, whatever. Give yourself, do those little things, and those are the things that'll start help building your confidence. So for the next 30 days too, another really easy thing to do is just simply write down 3 wins for the day. Just 3 things that worked really well, whether you ate right, drank lots of water, did some exercise, laughed instead of cried, didn't get upset over something that would have upset you in the past, complimented your kids, made them feel good, appreciate your husband, any little thing, because those wins will make you focus more and more on what's going good in your life. You're going to find yourself looking for wins just to add to that list at the end of the day, which is nice because that's where you put your focus on is what expands, right? The act of looking for the positives will change your mindset to focus on progress rather than perfection. So remember, creative gratitude builds confidence, and that's the stuff that's going to take you farther when it comes to mindset. So I'm just going to check my time here. 10:24. Okay, does anyone have any questions today? Oops. I can't even bring up my, oh, here we go. Okay, I'm going to say good morning to everyone here. Good morning, Amanda. Good morning, Logan. Good morning, Jeff. Good morning, Janelle. Good morning, Harry. Good morning, Shandell. Good morning, Andy, or good afternoon, Andy. You're in the east, so it's afternoon there already. Good morning, James. Good morning, Marja. Amanda says, absolutely relate. I hired a gal to fold laundry because I'd rather work or be outside than do that. Yeah, and that's one thing for me. I don't mind doing laundry. I don't mind folding clothes. I still put most of them on my girls' bed and make them hang them up themselves, but dishes is my big thing. Marja says, and don't worry about what other people think. Yes, Marja has to keep reminding herself of that too, don't you, Marja? Good morning, Judy. And Marja says, hi, Tracy. Oh, I didn't see a Tracy on here, but maybe I missed. Okay. Well, anyway, I hope you got value out of that. Remember, if you want to build your confidence, look for the wins. Look for what you focus on expands. So watch for what's working for you and then do more of that. And quit beating yourself up. You've got to be your biggest fan, and you got to stop being your biggest critic. So that's my advice for today. I'll see you on Free Coaching Friday, and we'll talk next week. Bye-bye. Oh, there's Tracy. Good morning, Tracy. Yeah, Judy joined a little late, but you know what? I'm going to finish up. You guys can watch the recording. Thanks.